Welcome to New Day Cleveland. I'm David Moss.
And I'm Natalie Hervick.
And today's show is dedicated to those enjoying the golden years of life.
We have everything for ways to feel better and live easier with some great resources. New Day Cleveland's senior show, brought to you by Maria of Aurora, starts right now. Did you know that you should get your hearing checked once you turn 50? The hearing loss happens slowly, which means you might not notice it. Well, this can lead to falls, even dementia. But don't worry, modern hearing solutions can help.
Modern Hearing Solutions has been the trusted authority in the area for 30 years next year, which is really exciting. So we are a team full of elite audiologists, providers, and patient care coordinators whose ultimately main mission is to make hearing easier for the community around us. We are the biggest private practice in Northeast Ohio, and we are the highest rated as well, which is really cool because it allows us to remain independent. That's huge in today's healthcare landscape, especially hearing healthcare. It's really confusing, it's really gray. Insurance companies, big box stores, corporations. With staying independent, we don't have to answer to any of them because ultimately, unfortunately, at the end of the day, they're kind of in it to make a buck. We don't believe in that. That's not who we are. We care about the patient, what's going on with them, their symptoms, and how can we ultimately most appropriately and effectively treat their hearing loss, their tinnitus, and their cognitive impairment. As far as tinnitus or tinnitus goes, absolutely, it's something that we need to get checked out. The reason being is it is a neural consequence of hearing loss. It's actually one of 5. Tinnitus is actually that buzzing, clicking, chirping, anything that's happening in the brain, any sound you're hearing, but it's not actually in your environment. I did mention that it is one of the 5 neural consequences because obviously there are more. Number 2, we have falls. So untreated hearing loss significantly increases your risk of falls. Number 3 is cognitive overload. Untreated hearing loss over years and years causes your brain extra stress, which is really detrimental because that can lead to number 3, which unfortunately is cognitive decline, and then 5, dementia. And that's really a big part of our passion is education. It's actually really cool because there was a study that came out just yesterday from the Alzheimer's Association giving its stamp of approval that yes, treating hearing loss does significantly reduce your risk of progressive dementia by about 50%. That's huge. That is massive. And honestly, this is a conversation we've been having with our patients for years. So it's really exciting to see the research world and the medical world finally catching up because it's something we've been talking about for a while, and it's really true and it's really impactful. Hearing happens in a brain level. The ears are just a way in, they're just a vessel. The brain is what's responsible for collecting that information and then deciphering it. The traditional hearing aid over the counter is essentially an amplifier. It's going to turn everything up and everything down. Is that what you're struggling with? I don't think so. It's probably more so, did they say take out the cash or take out the trash? That's a nerve issue. That's a brain issue that we have to address. If you're interested to figure out what's going on with your hearing and your cognitive needs, first and foremost, we want you to get our book. So we have a great book that was written by our founder, Eric Mounts, in partnership with an audiologist and neuroscientist, Dr. Keith Darrow. The book is full of exactly what we'll be talking about here, which is why it's a great place to start. That book you can get at mhsbookoffer.com. When you get that book, please read it. It sets a great foundation for the conversation we'll be having here. We do offer complimentary consultations. You can contact any of our one of 6 locations, set up an appointment with any of our one fantastic providers. We'll see you and we'll assess the whole auditory system, from the outer ear all the way to the brain. We'll assess how well your brain is processing speech, but we go a step further too, because cognitive overload from hearing loss can leak into some other areas, like executive functioning, like processing speed, like reaction time. So we want to get a good idea of where you are with that as well. Once that is all complete, we put it together, we write a prescription for you that is going to effectively treat your hearing loss and the other things that can happen from it. Patients should choose Modern Hearing Solutions because collectively we have over 95 years of experience between all of our providers, and we truly want the best for all of our patients. When we get to the root cause of what's going on, when we treat those 5 neurologic consequences, hey, guess what? You hear clear and background noise. Hey, you can participate better at the family gathering. You get to enjoy life better. And that's truly what our focus is. It's not about the widget, it's about the patient.
Modern Hearing Solutions has 6 locations, but they're growing quickly, so you can go online to find the office nearest you. You can also give them a call, or you can check out their founder's free book at mhsbookoffer.com.
It's a device making it easier for hearing impaired to stay connected to their loved ones. Lori Rosenberg is here. She's the outreach educator from CapTel Caption Telephones to explain more. And I see these phones out here, and it looks like it's not your regular telephone. It's got a screen on it. So how does that work?
So this is a great phone. It's a great tool in someone's toolbox if they have a hearing loss. It allows people to hear better because there's amplification on the phone, but there's also the words. So what you're not hearing or understanding, you're able to read. So if you're a person who uses closed caption TV, this is a perfect fit for you. You understand the concept.
Yeah, it just sort of fits right in. Like I have it on sometimes, or a foreign picture or something like that. You're just reading along with it. So if you're talking to your best friend, or you're talking to your doctor, your druggist, or whatever, you go on the phone, you can understand by seeing everything is in the conversation.
Right. Well, first off, it's going to amplify it. So you're going to be able to adjust the sound to what you need. But with someone who has a hearing loss, it's not always how loud something sounds, but how clear, and that's the tone. So we're also able to adjust the tone settings on the phone. So volume and tone are going to give you a better hearing experience, and then what you're not understanding, you're going to look to the captions to support.
Yeah, and that really affects everything. Your attitude, your mental condition, everything. If you can't hear, you can't connect, and you can't communicate. So I'm looking at this beautiful device. I'm going like, wow, it must be difficult to pay for. It's expensive, but it's not.
No, it isn't. The Americans with Disabilities Act mandates that this service, along with closed caption TV and other services for people with hearing loss, that this is available. So then they've kind of said, hey, FCC, find a way to pay for it. So on our phone bills, there are FCC taxes and those whole list of taxes in there. That's where it's paid for. So anyone who has a phone bill, for the past probably 20 years, has been paying into this for the greater good.
So this tells me that you don't have to worry about I'm getting this for free or whatever. You've really been paying for it. We're all paying for it in case we need it, and it's there and available for us.
Right.
And this is a wonderful thing. So how do they call? Who do they call? What do they do? And how do they get this set up?
So that's a great question. They can reach out to CapTel. They can reach out to myself, and we come out to the homes. We install the phones for them. This is all at no cost, because we believe if this is just delivered or you pick it up somewhere, you open the box, you're going to close, you're going to put it underneath the bed. We're going to set it up. We're going to set it up right in the best place possible. We're also going to show you how to use the phone and the features that you may not think are there that are there, like where there's an answering machine. So the answering machine is also captioned.
Can you get one in 2 places in the house so you're always near?
Right now we start with one. These are federally funded.
Well, that's pretty good just to get one, right?
We're starting with one phone per person.
Okay, so you can get it. It's not going to cost you money. You just have to call captel.com. And I know some other flyers out here. So as you encounter folks who are help with this, they also find some other things you can help them with.
Right. So we do a lot of community education as we're talking about the phone, providing resources for people who have hearing loss to navigate different aspects of life. So right here we have one that's 5 back-to-school tips for someone who has a hearing loss. Things that they can do to advocate for themselves within the school to make it an easier experience. We have just regular advocating for your own self when you have a hearing loss. How to advocate if you're in the hospital, things that you can know, tips and
So a
trips.
whole bunch of help here. Just remember, go to the website, check it out. Lori will give you a hand, and everything will be. You'll hear what's going on. How's that?
Sounds good?
Read it
Better?
and hear it. Sounds good. Thank you.
you.
Thanks. Coming up after the break, a great resource and a way to give back for seniors.
Road trips, recipes, and much more. Go to fox8.com and click on the New Day Cleveland tab.
David and I want to thank Dillard's Beechwood for helping us to look our best every day on New Day Cleveland. Did you know the Eastside location is Dillard's Midwest flagship store? They carry hard-to-find designer brands in fashion, footwear, home goods, and beyond. Not to mention, you can shop with a personal stylist at no cost. If you like our style, check out Dillard's Beechwood. When we think about our golden years, there are many resources that we can utilize. One of them I think that is so important is Meals on Wheels. Now you might know of it, but maybe you don't know all about it. So we're here at Dover Congregational Church in Westlake. I have Marie with me, who is a phenomenal human being, I must say. You really help, I should say, so many people throughout this community immediately around you, and a few others too surrounding.
Correct. We currently provide meals to residents in Bay Village, Westlake, North Olmsted, Olmsted Falls, and Olmsted Township.
Now, for those who everyone knows, they've heard the name, Meals on
Yes.
Wheels, but I don't know if people really understand how much goes into this. There's a lot that
There's
goes
a
into it.
lot. We not only provide nutritious meals, we provide 2 meals a day for each of our recipients. We also provide a friendly visit when we present the meals, and we do the midday safety checks, which is very important to our residents.
So really what you're telling me in saying that is everyone who is volunteering here, they look at those who they're delivering to as an extended family. They are worrying about them, checking up on them as our family would for us.
You're exactly right, Natalie. Every one of our volunteers thinks of our recipients as their extended family. We celebrate their birthdays, their anniversaries, whatever special occasions that we all celebrate together with families.
It's a beautiful thing. Now I see that things are kind of ready to go here. What are the types of things? What's on today's menu?
Okay, so today's menu is country fried chicken, green beans, and grits.
That sounds really yummy.
Yes.
Now, but the money has to come from somewhere. So, and I know that you're a nonprofit organization. You rely on solely the community for this.
Correct. Community donations is key. Any type of support that in that fashion is very much appreciated. We do not receive any federal nor state funding.
It's really amazing then what you can do. And I know, how many volunteers do you have at this specific location?
So weekly, we have 110 volunteers that help us provide and deliver over 800 meals.
That's amazing. That's a large amount.
Yes, it is.
What do you, and I know there are people of all ages who do this too.
Correct.
So what do you attribute to why people are wanting to be a part of this so much?
I think everybody determines in their lifetime, whether it's at your age or at my age or older, that they want to give back. And it gives us peace and soul searching in giving to others. And the friendships and the camaraderie is amazing.
So now, are you looking for more volunteers still?
Absolutely, we're always looking for volunteers.
What types of volunteers? So some people will cook. The cooks are the volunteers?
So we have kitchen assistants.
Okay.
That, the cook gives them direction.
Okay.
We have bakers that bake fresh desserts every day for our recipients. We have the drivers. We have people that go to the hospital and pick up prescription meals for those that require prescription meals. We also have a craft group.
There doesn't seem to be an age limit on who volunteers with you, huh?
That's correct. We have them as young as kindergarten, and then my oldest one currently is 85. And he is an awesome driver, and he's even one of our trainers for new drivers.
Can I ask you how it just makes you feel too when you see the end result of something like this? How that makes you feel to be a part of it?
I think, for me personally, I think I finally found what my purpose in life is, and it's to work with all of these people.
It's truly amazing. And I can't imagine the hearts you touch, the lives you touch. And again, every dollar that you can help donate goes a long way. How much does it take to just feed one person?
So it's $9 a day for 2 meals.
Okay.
So if you were to receive meals for 5 days, it's $45.
Okay.
If you were to want to sponsor a recipient for a month, which would be great, that would be $180. But, whatever donations would come in, it always goes to the recipients.
That's truly incredible. I know what you're doing is amazing. I know people are so appreciative of this. And they can go to your website to learn more.
Absolutely.
Find out how they can donate or
Yes.
volunteer.
Correct.
Or just be a recipient as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for what you're doing for our community.
Thank you for your time.
She is such a gem, that is for sure.
Thank you.
It is a community that truly feels like home from the moment you step foot onto the campus of Anna Maria. And Aaron Baker is one of the owners, a 3rd-generation owner. And I have to say, from the time I got here, I was welcomed with just pleasant, smiling faces, open arms. This is something that you really pride yourselves on here.
It is. It's really what we're all about. We have a very simple mission statement: every resident, every family, every day. And 2024 marks our 60th year striving to, live that mission.
That's incredible. So third generation, you're going to be celebrating 60 years next year. What is it, do you think, that makes the campus of Anna Maria different from other places that seniors can go to experience a wonderful living experience?
Yeah, well, I think it's two-part. Number one, we're family owned and operated. As you say, it's not a chain. Myself and my cousin Chris Norton, we're here every day. So we're actually operating the facilities ourselves. My wife is a dietitian in one of the nursing facilities. I have a sister-in-law who's a director of nursing. I have another cousin who works at the front desk. So it truly is a family thing, and we're close to it, and we see the impact of our decisions. And I think that's the key, just being here and seeing the staff, the visitors, the families, and the residents. It's really unique in this day and age.
From the moment you pull up, you have 70 plus beautiful acres. You're kind of impressed with just the view, and then you walk in and you realize that this is a place for everyone's needs. You have something, whether you need independent living services, whether you need assisted living services, and what's really unique too is you provide that continuing care community, which means what for the person who's watching at home?
Well, as you alluded to, it's really the full continuum of care. So, some residents are fully independent, they're still driving. Some need a bit more care, and that's where we get into assisted living, and they can stay in their same apartment, and we can continue those services. We also have 2 nursing facilities on campus, and both facilities are ranked 5-star by Medicare. We have 2 short-term units, so we do post-hospital short stays to get people back on their feet and get them home. And then we have people who need full-time care around the clock. And so we really do a little bit of everything.
Let's talk specifically about the independent living option, because this is a great option for people that are just kind of looking for a little bit more socialization, who maybe can do everything on their own. And you offer beautiful apartments for people that are looking for something like this.
Exactly. We have 1 and 2 bedroom apartments for independent living, and it's really about maintaining an independent lifestyle. And so continuing interest, finding new interest, finding new friends. It's really about the socialization. We include 1 meal a day. We can include up to 3 meals a day. It really depends where that resident is at. And it's funny, we hear a lot from our independent residents. A common denominator is, I wish I would have done this a couple years ago. And because what people often think is remaining independent is remaining in your own home. And that can be, but sometimes as well, people become isolated in their own homes. And so independent living in a community really provides that socialization and additional support.
For the person who's watching right now that's saying, you know what, this might be a place for me, I could see myself calling that home, how do they get more information?
Yeah, basically going to our website, Maria.com, is an easy way. They can call the facility main number, which is 330-562-6171. We're here.
Perfect. And this is home, your family, so they can become an extension of your family. Thank you so much for meeting with us today.
Thank you.
When our senior show continues, we have a way that's sure to get you moving.
Every day is a new day. Follow New Day Cleveland on Facebook and Instagram.
Welcome back to New Day Cleveland's Senior Show, brought to you by Anna Maria of Aurora. A new set of wheels can change your life. Rocking Mobility is dedicated to keeping you moving. Here's a look.
Rocking Mobility is a durable medical equipment store where you can come in and try equipment, and we sell everything from canes, rollators to wheelchairs, mobility scooters, power chairs, reclining lift chairs, hospital beds, as well as personal safety aids from bathroom safety to home health aids. We have 3-wheel scooters, 4-wheel scooters, folding scooters from a variety of manufacturers, and we also service what we sell. So you can, if something happens, you can bring it back to us and we'll take care of it for you. Power chairs, same thing. We have portable power chairs, we have folding power chairs, we have full-size power chairs, and access to a variety of manufacturers for that equipment as well. With wheelchairs, manual wheelchairs, rollators, we try to carry a selection so that we can find the right piece of equipment for the person. So our goal is to find the right mobility product for the situation at the right price. Scooters I would start at an entry level, either 3-wheel or 4-wheel. It's pretty basic. It's going to get you around, maybe more indoors than outdoors. And it can go all the way up to, some of them have suspension. Some of them are made for someone who's over 300 pounds. Some are made to be more outdoors. They look almost the size of a small car. And we have access to all of those. Most of what we sell are travel scooters that come apart, so they can break down in 5 pieces, or some of them fold up so they're easy to take on planes or cruises. Some people come in looking for a rollator because they don't want to fall down, or they get tired if they're walking a long distance and just want something to sit on. So we'll take them through what options are available from, is it going to be used indoors? Is it going to be used outdoors? Does it need to be lightweight? Are you going to be putting it in a car? So there's all kinds of questions that we have to go through to find that right piece of equipment. 1 in 4 people over the age of 65 are going to have a fall. And that fall is most likely going to happen in the bathroom. So we focus on bathroom safety. We have chairs, grab bars, shower stools, bath mats, that type of equipment to help someone to feel more secure in their bathroom so that we don't have that fall. We are a you-centered store. We want you, the customer, to find that right product for your situation. We are not an insurance provider. We are a private pay only. So we want you to find what is correct for you at the price point for you. The greatest satisfaction we have is finding the right piece of equipment for someone because they realize that they can now enjoy life at a point where they couldn't presently. Even if it's a lift chair so that now they can sleep at night, or a hospital bed, or just being able to get up out of a chair, or using a wheelchair to get around their house, whatever the need is. Watching the smiles on the faces as people leave here or come back and tell us how much it has changed their lives, that makes the day for us.
Well, there's a lot to know when it comes to Medicare, but here to help is Michelle Waldron from Health Insurance for Seniors. Michelle, it is so good to have you back in studio with us.
Thank you.
All right, so today we're talking about Medicare. We know that it is a very useful program, but there are so many questions about it. The first question I have, when is the appropriate time to enroll?
That is probably the biggest question I get asked. Most folks, it depends on their situation.
Okay.
People have this fear if they don't enroll right away, they're going to get a penalty.
Right.
But it really depends on them. Some folks, if they're going to continue to work for an employer 20 people or above, they actually might have the option to stay with what they have. The question is it financially viable? Is it benefit worthy? So that's where I come in and consult on when is the best time for that individual.
All right, so there really isn't a cookie cutter answer, and that's one of the things that you enjoy working on is figuring out those solutions.
Correct.
So when it comes to original Medicare, do you find that that is usually all someone needs, or do they need to supplement it with other things?
Original Medicare doesn't include a drug plan.
Okay.
So first and foremost, you need to make sure that once you get that red, white, and blue card, that at a minimum, that is what you're doing. But there's also, it's not enough. Medicare in and of itself does not have a max out of pocket that you and I are probably used to.
Sure.
And so if somebody doesn't surround it with either a supplement or a Medicare Advantage plan, they could potentially go bankrupt for medical bills.
Wow. Okay, so you mentioned the medication portion of it. So we're talking about Part D. If you are not taking medicine, is that something that people then still need to opt into?
They do. Even if it is the basic, most inexpensive plan they can get, because what happens is when you do need Part D, if you didn't get it when you were first eligible, then you will end up with a penalty of 3% per month for the rest of your life that you didn't have it.
Gotcha. And how many people are not even on medication at this point,
Well,
right?
yeah.
As you get up in age and start to realize there are certain things that are happening with your body.
Yep. Most people, actually, the average American is on 7 medications.
Wow, okay.
So yeah, most people do, but you have a lot of people that are still very healthy,
Right,
and
right.
I wish I had their bloodline.
Me too.
But but there are people who say, I don't take drugs, I'm not going to do it.
Right. So let's talk then about Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement.
Okay.
Really quickly, what is the difference, and is one better than the other?
So neither is better.
Okay.
It all depends on that particular individual, on how they want to manage their risk, because it's about how are we going to pay for health care as an individual going forward, and then how do I want my health care when I need it. So on the supplement side, you have your original Medicare and your Part D, and then you supplement it or Medigap it with a secondary plan that will come in literally behind Medicare, where you have very limited medical costs, but you don't have the bells and whistles, the dental, the vision, the hearing, all those things you see.
Sure.
Medicare Advantage works what you and I are used to, which is co-pays, co-insurance, max out of pocket, networks, prior authorizations. So there's a few more hoops to jump through, but it's what we know. And then from there, you're paying as you go to that max out of pocket. So depending on how you want to manage the money and what kind of freedoms you want will determine what is actually best for you.
You know, you've been doing this for over 8 years. It's obvious you know what you're talking about. It's obvious you're passionate about what it is you're doing. I love the fact that you also offer free consultation. So if people are watching and they're like, I don't even know where to start, you're able to help them. You're able to tell them when the appropriate time might be to make a change.
Yeah, most of what I do, I always say, is pro bono. Most of what I do is education. If you don't have good information to make a decision that affects your health care for the rest of your life, how that could end up being very detrimental later to most people. And so I believe information is power, power is knowledge, and you should have all that before you make that kind of decision.
We are just about out of time. How can people get in touch with you? Because obviously you have all of that knowledge.
They can call me and call my office at 216-387-3293, or they can go out to my website, which is healthinsuranceforseniors.llc.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Still ahead on New Day Cleveland's Senior Show, getting and staying active in the golden years.
Have a suggestion for a segment or story? Email us at newday@fox8.com.
Let's try that a little bit faster. Ready? Toes. Perfect. Active for Life is a brain and body program, proprietary program. It was designed for older adults, individuals with developmental disabilities. I was invited by an independent living facility to teach a ballroom dance class. And I went in there, and independent living, they're still living on their own, but very few people could still participate because they didn't have the balance or stability or they had a walker, and I was so sad by this because that's their era, ballroom dancing. It reminded me of my grandparents. I grew up watching them dancing. I went home and I put myself in a chair and I started putting together seated cha-cha steps and mambo steps, and then took that exercise science background and essentially took my dance background, my exercise science background, and created this program. And it just continued to evolve and modified it for different skill levels. So if I went into an independent living facility versus a memory care facility or skilled nursing, I would be able to provide a really fantastic program for everyone, no matter what level they were at or what they were going through. Today's class, we had our seated rhythm class and our tap time class here at Normandy Breakwater. And Normandy Breakwater is an amazing facility. They have so many health and wellness offerings for their residents. And during the pandemic, when the world was shut down, we had so many activities directors at these facilities reaching out to us and saying, do you have a video that our residents can follow along to? And so we ended up creating virtual programs and a video, a DVD, and a streaming option so individuals can do this from the privacy of their home. That's so important to exercise both cognitively and physically. And they're also designed to be as inclusive as possible. Not only is it our mission to provide a safe and effective brain and body class, but to bring joy and positivity. Just because you might be in a point in your life where it's seated dance and exercise, there's no reason we should ever stop engaging in things that we're passionate about and bring us joy.
You've put in years, made the sacrifices for a family, and now it's time to work hard to protect what you've built. So pleased to be joined by Tim Stallings. He's a partner with Ayler Stallings, a Cleveland area firm that offers elder care law and estate planning services. And this is one of those things that a lot of people think they prepare for retirement, but estate planning is something that, well, they almost don't want to talk about it or face the facts.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? You know, everyone wants to talk about the fun stuff, the investments, but oftentimes we find that the legal plan kind of trails behind the financial planning.
You know, what should they be thinking about estate planning?
Well, I think it's all about having a plan. Oftentimes it's transactional. I need a will, I need a power of attorney, and they get it, but really there's a lot more to it than just a single document.
Yeah.
When we talk about planning, it's about, you know, having a comprehensive plan, one that's set up correctly at the onset. Oftentimes that's a will that says who gets your stuff when you pass away, powers of attorney to have someone to make decisions for you with your health care and your finance. Some of our clients use trusts for various reasons, maybe to avoid probate or to protect assets if they ever need the nursing home down the road.
Yeah, so a lot of people go on the internet nowadays. I think they're learning stuff to do stuff and do things themselves. And we're talking about a very complicated situation. Everybody's family is different. What are some of the red flags that people encounter with this kind of planning?
Well, I mean, I think when it comes to the internet, I mean, there's disclaimers that say most of these are completed incorrectly. You know, at the end of the day, yes, we're using similar documentation to work with a lot of folks and fix their problems, but, you know, it's all about finding the right plan. And that starts with really getting to know someone. You know, it's all we do at Ayler Stallings is estate planning and elder care law. We're not general practitioners. In terms of red flags, you know, if you are looking for an attorney and you're asking them questions and you realize this isn't an area where they're primarily focused, that's probably a red flag. If they can't tell you how long the process takes to put it in place or how they calculate their fees, I would say those are red flags as well.
How about solutions to these problems?
Well, in terms of the solutions, you know, a lot of our clients, we talk about the big risks of retirement. One, no one wants to leave a mess, of course, but really you want to make sure you have a plan if you need long-term care too. Health care is a huge issue, and a lot of folks don't have a plan. And when you sit down with an elder care attorney, it's not just about planning for death, it's about planning for life, which could include, you know, if you have incapacity or dementia, things like that as you get older.
There's some important things there. What are some other questions you should be asking?
Well, I think, you know, you want to ask the attorney, you know, what's their plan? The estate planning and elder care industry tends to be a lot of attorneys who are a little bit further along in their career. What happens if they retire? You know, what's their average client? What does that look like? Make sure you're working with someone who works with families like yours. I think knowing, as I mentioned earlier, what the process looks like and how they calculate their fees, those are all really important things I would ask before I engaged a estate planning or elder care attorney.
I was walking down the hallway earlier just before you arrived, and we were talking about what we were going to talk about. And I tell you, there were 3 or 4 people there, and there were 3 or 4 different stories about what's happened in their family, each one of them because somebody didn't take the time to plan ahead.
I think the key with us is asking the right questions at the beginning, taking time to get to know folks. You know, we call it our heart. That's what is our differentiator. And all of our planning includes our lifetime support. So if they have questions in the future, we can get on the phone, answer those for them. If they want to come in, we have complimentary visits too for folks who we've done planning for in the past.
Yeah, and I think you guys are really helpful too, because it's something a lot of people don't want to talk about, and you can introduce that idea and talk around it and make everybody comfortable about it and see how it's really helping their family in a positive way.
Absolutely. It's no greater joy than to be able to put that planning in place. And, you know, of course, we know folks are going to get sick. We know folks are going to pass away. But knowing that we've planned ahead gives them that peace of mind that they don't have anything to worry about in terms of leaving a mess for their family and loved ones down the line.
Well, so it certainly makes a lot of sense, folks. So you at home who want to know if you have the proper estate plan or are wondering how to get started, Tim has a great offer right now for the first 10 callers. They're offering a complimentary phone consultation with an estate planning and elder care law attorney. The number to call is 216-304-6929. Again, that number is 216-304-6929. And you can also go to AylerStallings.com. Very important stuff. And thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. We'll have more New Day Cleveland right after this.
Sponsors of New Day Cleveland include
When it comes to having a successful retirement, you may not need a financial advisor, but instead, a sheepdog. How about that? Pleased to be joined by Matt Schaefer, a frequent guest on New Day Cleveland. And Matt is with Golden Reserve, a Cleveland area retirement planning firm that helps people in the nearing of retirement.
That's right.
So we're talking about, we're talking about boulders, we're talking about mountains, and now we're talking about sheepdogs.
Sheepdogs.
Yeah. How does that work?
Well, Golden Reserve, really, we're known for 2 things more than anything else. We're known for protecting and guiding retirees through retirement. And that's really protection and guidance. That's really the kind of the life mission of a sheepdog, right? And so we take that mindset into every client interaction we have. We take that mindset into every roadmap that we build for our clients, but more specifically, what we're known as are retirement planners. And that's because we work with folks who are nearing and in retirement exclusively. Most financial advisors, they're going to cast a wider net, right? They're going to work with folks in my phase of life all the way to your phase of life. It's not our approach.
Okay, so we've got the sheepdog going. We talk about boulders. We talk about risks, the hill, and all that.
That's right.
What are some of those risks? What are some of those boulders that you can help people avoid?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're right on it. I mean, we look at them as boulders because when we talk about retirement planning, we look at it like climbing a mountain. That journey up the mountain, those are the working years, the accumulation years, and then we get to the top of the mountain or we get to retirement and we start making our way back down and we run into risks and challenges or those boulders that are unique to the retirement phase of our lives, and there's 4 of them that we focus on. We have IRA taxes. You know, most people, they don't realize that the biggest debt that you might have in your retirement is the tax bill that's still attached to those retirement accounts. Then we look at market risk as the second boulder. We're not working anymore. We're not contributing to those retirement accounts, so we can't take more risk than we can afford. The third boulder is fees. Between advisory fees and investment fees, these are really unnecessary costs that can eat away at your investment accounts if you don't have them under control.
Yeah.
And then the last boulder that we talk about is long-term care, or the cost of the nursing home. You know, on average, it's over $100,000 a year.
A year.
And so if you don't have a plan in place for that one, I mean, it can wipe away your retirement.
So a lot of times we talk about retirement and we're always talking about just before you retire or having a plan just before you retire. But it seems to me it's just as important to have somebody guide you after you retire because things never stay constant. There's no consistency out there.
That's right. I think even more importantly, we need to adjust that plan. You know, we talk about getting to the top of the mountain. Well, when we get to that point, that plan expires. and you need a new person, a new professional in your life, like a retirement planner or a sheepdog, as we like to say, to help you through that new phase of your life.
So what exactly will you do to help people?
Yeah, well, each person that wants to learn more about that protect and guide approach that we talk about at Golden Reserve, we're going to bring them in and we're going to run what we call our roadmap for retirement. Now that roadmap for retirement, it's going to identify and define those boulders that we talk about, and then it's going to talk about how your current plan might stack up against those boulders, but then we're going to take it a step further and we're going to show you what a new roadmap developed by Golden Reserve would look like for you, and how do we help you avoid those boulders and make sure you're not overexposed to those risks through your retirement.
So it's a custom-made thing because most people, everybody's different, I guess is the best way to say it, right?
That's right, yeah. Each roadmap is customized to that individual or that family.
Okay, folks, so for you at home who want to learn more about having the right guide to help protect your retirement, Matt has a great offer for you right now. For the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary roadmap for retirement with locations in Cleveland, Westlake, Independence, Akron, and Canton. This will allow Matt and his team of retirement planners to sit down with you to assess where you are, then build a plan that covers taxes, investment fees, your market risk, and of course, long-term care costs. And this roadmap helps you fight back against the bigger risks in retirement. So that number to call right now, important, 216-600-1205. And you can also go to getyourroadmap.com. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
After the break, living options for the senior years.
Do you know someone going above and beyond in your community? We want to share their stories. Email us at newday@fox8.com.
Located on 70 beautiful acres right here in Aurora, the campus of Anna Maria has taken a different approach when it comes to senior living because it's all about family. Evan Webster is the Community Relations Director, and Evan, I feel like you're part of my family already.
We'll get you in an apartment in any minute.
All right, so let's talk about these apartments because when you do walk in, you feel like you're stepping into your home.
Right. The residents do a great job of making these apartments their own, making them feel comfortable that they can hang anything they want picture-wise and memorabilia, bringing their own personal furniture in to give it that home touch.
So this is a single bedroom apartment. Do you also offer two bedrooms?
Yeah, we have 1 and 2 bedroom apartments.
Okay.
This is just an example of a 1 bedroom that we have.
And
we have a husband and wife living in it right now.
Well, you know, we were talking with them earlier, and I don't want to say their name, but they've been married for 68 years. They're the most amazing couple. They were telling me about all the activities they participate in. They were also talking about some of the services that they're able to take advantage of while here. So what is unique is the fact that if you are independently living here, the campus of Anna Maria can take care of you. If you need additional services, you also provide that as well.
That's the uniqueness of this apartment, that this couple living here, no one knows what tomorrow will bring. If one needs assisted living services, a little more help, a little more support, so that spouse doesn't have to be the caregiver, we bring it to the same apartment. So one resident can be independent, the other could be assisted, and they stay together. We don't have to go to them and say, okay, you're gonna have to move to a different spot. We bring it to their home.
When you think about senior living, all of these things can come into your mind about what it is and what it isn't. But I feel the family component. I know that if I am looking to put a loved one in a home here, they're gonna also make friends, not only with the staff, but also with the other residents.
They have that culture, that activities, that couple you were talking to earlier, listing off all the different things they could do. We took them to a Lake Erie's captain's game the other day, and the gentleman that lives here got to run the bases. We take them out. We go out to dinner. We go to activities in town. The city of Aurora does concerts in the park. They go to that. We take them to functional things like going shopping. So if it's a cold winter day, they don't want to have to park a car We take them right to the door, drop them off, pick them up, bring them back. The driver will even carry their parcels back to the apartment for them if they need that.
That's incredible. You've been here for over 10 years. What do you think is the best part about being an employee and being a part of this family?
Is that it is a family environment. When you go to work for a family-owned company, you have a second where you go, how's this going to work? And from day one, it's been fantastic.
Well, that'll do it for our senior show brought to you by Maria of Aurora.
You can find a full list of all of the places we featured today on our website at fox8.com.
I'm David Moss.
And I'm Natalie Hervig.
And we'll see you on the next
New Day Cleveland.
So long.